Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Matrix Lab. And this is the episode where we unlock the secrets behind the rise of one of the most dynamic regions on the planet, Southeast Asia. Today we are not just looking at dry figures, we are going to witness a 4-decade economic race, a wild race of ASEAN powerhouses, where each nation is an athlete carrying an intense desire to rise. Set against a backdrop of volatile history, from the challenging 80s to the brilliant digital age, each GDP index is not merely a gross domestic product. It is a medal acknowledging the effort of transformation, a testament to the intellect and resilience of an entire nation. We will find out, who is the giant that consistently increases its strength? Who is the rising star that creates spectacular sprints? And which country built the solid foundation to maintain its leading position? Let's turn back the pages of economic history, starting in 1980, the starting line of this GDP race, where the economies we know today as Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore, Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, and Brunei began to shape their destinies. There have been tentative steps, stumbles, and resounding victories. This is not just a race of money, it is a race of willpower and strategy. Right from the early 80s, the region's economic landscape was clearly defined by a few names possessing overwhelming scale in terms of population and resources. Indonesia, the archipelago giant of the region. With its massive population and abundant resources, Indonesia quickly asserted itself as the largest economy. While its rivals were only taking their first steps, Indonesia crossed the multi-hundred billion-dollar mark very early on. Indonesia's strength did not come from a sudden surge, but from its sheer size and unwavering stability, continuously reinforced year after year. This is an economic marathon runner, with extraordinary endurance, consistently widening the absolute gap with the rest of the region. Running parallel with Indonesia were Thailand and Malaysia. These two nations, especially Thailand, formed a power triangle in Southeast Asia. Thailand, known as the Land of Smiles, rapidly developed through strong investment in manufacturing and tourism. They didn't just grow, they positioned themselves as a crucial manufacturing and supply chain hub for the region. By the end of the 20th century, both Thailand and Malaysia had made significant strides, transforming into formidable industrialized economies, with their GDP surpassing the $100 billion milestone in the 90s. And we must not forget Singapore. Though just a small dot on the map, this island nation is a global financial and trade powerhouse. Singapore does not compete on absolute scale, but on the sophistication and efficiency of its economy. Although its absolute GDP is smaller than Indonesia's, its growth rate and remarkable leap in per capita income have turned Singapore into the shining diamond of ASEAN, an indispensable transit hub maintaining its lead in the quality of growth. As the 21st century began, the ASEAN playing field welcomed new competitors with astonishing growth rates, Vietnam and the Philippines. Vietnam is a phenomenon, starting from a very low base in the 80s. But thanks to the Doi Moi renewal reforms and robust opening up, Vietnam has maintained a growth rate that is almost uninterrupted and among the fastest in the world. From a predominantly agrarian economy, Vietnam quickly transformed into a manufacturing powerhouse and an attractive destination for foreign direct investment, FDI. By the late 2010s, Vietnam had surpassed several rivals to become one of the 5 largest economies in ASEAN, proving a flexible and decisive development strategy. Vietnam's breakout is a story of pragmatism and the aspiration to integrate globally. The Philippines also made steady progress. With a young, tech-savvy population and a massive diaspora community, the Philippines effectively leveraged the service sector, particularly the business process outsourcing BPO industry. Although there were periods of slower growth, the Philippines maintained its upward trajectory, cementing its position as one of the major economies in the region. The GDP race is not just happening at the top. Further back, countries like Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos are also making significant strides. Despite a low starting point and challenges in infrastructure, these nations are gradually opening up, attracting investment, and exploiting their potential in tourism and agriculture. Their growth rate, in percentage terms, is often very high, signaling untapped potential and promising to reshape the region's economic map in the near future. Finally, we have Brunei. With abundant oil and gas resources, Brunei had a prosperous economy from the start. Brunei does not participate in the race for speed, but focuses on quality of life and maintaining stability. Although the smallest in scale, Brunei's wealth has made it an undercurrent power in terms of per capita income. Dear viewers, after 40 years of following this wild race, we realize that the absolute GDP ranking is only part of the story. Indonesia remains the unshakable pillar, representing scale and endurance. Thailand and Malaysia are the solid industrial foundations, representing manufacturing capability. Singapore is the intellect and sophistication, representing quality and services. Vietnam is the speed and aspiration, representing the breakout of the 21st century. From a loose collection of economies in the 80s, today, ASEAN has become a unified economic bloc, with significant weight on the international stage. The GDP race is no longer about who overtakes whom, but about each nation contributing its unique strengths to the collective power network of the region. The rise of ASEAN is a powerful affirmation. Southeast Asia is not just a market, and is an economic superpower in the making. Today's GDP figures are only the opening round. The real race is still ahead, as these nations continue to invest in digital technology, green energy, and global supply chains. Thank you for joining Matrix Lab for this episode. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, so you don't miss our next in-depth analysis. See you in the next episodes, where we continue to decode the world's economic matrix.